dear. Where's your magic sword?
I, Arthur, was to carry Excalibur. That is why I'm your king.
Arthur's real enough and man enough to ride as we do in pursuit of glory.
Merlin? But this Merlin is no wizard.
He's a worthless drunkard.
I should have known better than to trust a Frenchman.
The robot is feeding off the magic of Excalibur.
But your priests deny the power of Avalon.
A dream to some.
A nightmare to others!
Hello and welcome to Hollywood Avalon with your host Mary Jones.
Dennis Legg.
What? Okay, so for the listener, Dennis, for some reason, pulled the collar of his shirt up over his mouth and is covering it and speaking through it. Now,
are you safe?
Oh, Christ. Yeah, Dennis, I tested negative for COVID like a week ago.
All right. It's been a while.
Come here, let me cough on you. You sleep next to me, dummy.
I didn't know if maybe on air, like, it's more.
What?
If you can catch it more on air.
Oh my God, you're gonna catch something. These hands.
I can't believe for Christmas you got a punching bag.
I love it so much. I am not actually a violent person. Like, I make jokes. Yeah, exactly. Dude, 2026, the year I got swole. It's gonna rock.
Yikes.
Yeah. I'm gonna be like that movie nobody saw, the Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which I haven't seen either.
Mm-hmm. Is that Arthurian?
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's no way I can retcon that into she's actually the Lady of the Lake or Morgan Le Fay or something. Yeah. No. And there's no really lady knights in medieval Arthurian.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know, it's a bummer. Yeah. There should be.
How about in like just general fiction? I mean, outside of George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, there's stuff.
Okay, I didn't know.
No, there's like it's usually the stories are later than what we think of as the Middle Ages. But I remember this one, like, I think she's like either French or Italian chick who was like a mastered swordswoman and would, fight guys and like broke her girlfriend out of a nunnery. And yeah, it's really, real cool stuff.
I didn't know if there was any knighted, like, I mean, because I know that, there's, of course, Boudica and, pirate queens and all that.
Nah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I mean, yeah, Joan of Arc. I mean, that's it. But she went, she was executed for doing that. No, I can't really think of anything.
Thanks for everything you did.
Yeah, exactly. No, the thing is, there probably is something that I'm just not thinking of, and it's been a long time since I read a lot of actual medieval texts and history and stuff. I'm like, you're going back to college, and like I feel like, and I specifically took classes on women's literature and medieval whatever. Point is, can't think of anything. And also, that's not what the movie we were watching is about. So bring that sidetrack back to the main track. We're going to watch the 1971, I want to say, version of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, which was made by the same guy who later made The Sword of the Valiant. And so this is his first version. So he basically made a film of the poem Sir Gawain and the Green Knight twice. And the second time, now, was that a canon?
It might be, yeah.
Golden
It certainly
Globus?
felt like it.
It felt like it. And I mean that as a compliment.
Yeah.
At the time, I think I was roasting it a bit too much. If you go back, because that was really early in the show, this podcast. Well, not this podcast, the main show. It was really early in its run, and I was much more snotty, I think, about stuff. I've seen a lot more garbage since then, and I actually do have some fond memories for that movie. To the point where I think at some point, much later in this show's run, we'll probably go back and revisit it, with fresh eyes. But, that is not a faithful telling of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, in that it doesn't really try to grapple with the poem as a sort of very strange, mystical treatise, text, whatever. Sir Gawain and the Green Knight's a very odd poem, right? Which I've talked about before. If you go back and listen to our episode on the film The Green Knight, the David Lowery film from 21, 22, something like that. A film that I still am kind of mad about. Again, because like Dev Patel's fantastic in it. There's things to really love about it. It looks great when they're not relying too much on CGI. There's some muddy CGI in there, but that's every film. There's some stuff in there I really love. I hate the ending, and I feel like it's nihilistic in a way that the poem is the opposite of that, and I really hate that. Whereas Sword of the Valiant doesn't grapple with anything at all, and it's just an adventure story. It's a lot of fun, but it's just that's all it is. There's nothing deep about it, and at least I will give the Lowry film that it's trying to do something. It is trying to be deep, but I just don't really like where it ends the story.
The 80s fantasy and all is kind of lost.
Because I think you have Excalibur and nobody can really do what Excalibur was doing. Lowry at least is trying to do that.
Excalibur is like its own thing. It's like kind of like perfecting the 70s, I think.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Like, it doesn't really feel like an 80s movie. Like, it feels like it's an 80s in look and that it's doing the whole chrome thing and all that stuff. But, but it still feels 70s-ish, not studio-controlled.
You're absolutely right. It feels more like the 70s.
When you think of that time period, when Sword of the Valiant came out, there's also Kroll, which we just saw. And Kroll is great, but it is,
extremely derivative.
Yeah.
But a lot of fun. I enjoyed Kroll.
And I'd be curious to kind of compare Kroll with Sword of the Valiant.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Because it has the same, we get to shoot at actual castles type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But but they both feel kind of cheesy,
Very.
Yeah.
Dennis, there is less cheese in the cheese aisle at Wegmans.
Yeah. Whereas, Excalibur is also cheesy, but like it just, I don't know, it just goes full force and gets away with it somehow.
Yeah, as you say, Excalibur gets away with it because Borman at least is an interesting and sometimes even visionary filmmaker. Yes, I will go to bat for Zardoz any day of the week. But yeah, no, I mean, this film that we're going to watch, this guy made Sword of the Valiant. I don't know what this is going to be because it's the early 70s.
Well, see, I'm excited about that because I love, I love British films from the early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love the classic folk horror stuff and, like Wicker Man and all that.
Blood on Satan's Claw.
Yeah.
Witchfinder General.
Like this is a great period for those movies.
Yeah.
Like that I kind of I didn't used to appreciate. I was like, that's, like they make boring movies or something. But like, I don't know. The older I get, the more I love that stuff. And like they always have these great actors and
yeah. So but I don't know anybody who's in this.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the same rules for this show as we have for the main show, so I could have looked everything up if I wanted to. But I kind of want to go in surprised with this one. So I don't know who stars in it. I don't know, like, what it's going to look like. I mean, it's probably going to look cheap. But on the other hand, as you kind of allude to, this is a British film, and they could have filmed in actual castles and countryside and whatnot. So, it might actually not look bad for what it is, for the time period and all that. Now, what I don't know is this going to be a faithful story, a faithful retelling of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight? Is this just going to be an adventure story? Is this going to be trying to grapple with ideas about loyalty and faith and heroism and, like all the sort of, the beheading game, like grappling with like, what is the beheading game and how does this thing work? Or, is this just going to be kind of a cheap,
I think for us, the most interesting thing is why did he remake it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like, like maybe this one was too faithful and he's like he wanted to get a little wilder with it to like reach a wider audience, or
maybe this one looks worse.
Yeah.
Maybe it's really cheap looking. Maybe it's a really bad movie. I don't know.
Or maybe like the studio interfered with it a lot, and
I don't even know what studio put this out.
Yeah, I don't know. So
briefly, for those who don't remember, although as I've said, we've covered this story twice at least now on the show, or some show that we are doing. The story of Sir Gawain the Green Knight is Christmas, King Arthur's court, they're hanging out, and all of a sudden a big green knight, which means his armor is all green, and it comes in holding a big sprig of holly, and he has a giant axe, and he says, "I challenge anybody to chop my head off." But if you do that, then I get, whatever blow you strike on me, I will strike back on you.
In a year.
In a year. Yeah, 1 year's time. And everybody's just like, well, if you chop his head off, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Still, I don't want to try it. He's a big guy.
He is a big guy. Right, exactly. So, what if you can't actually successfully knock his head off? But, he might go and chop your head off, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the only person who says he'll do it is Gawain, the nephew of King Arthur.
Now, he's not a knight at the time, or?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. He is.
I mean, I know in the Green Knight, like the
film, he's not really a knight. I'm trying to remember if there's anything in the. Well, now Dennis, if you look right behind you, I have like 4 different editions of Sir Gawain the Green Knight over there. You want to pull one down for me? Third shelf down on your right hand side. You will see there are multiple copies. Give me the Norton Critical edition. No, I just double checked. I don't see anything about how he still has to be knighted.
Okay. He is Sir.
Well,
so.
Well, I know, but I'm just looking at the opening. But anyway, yeah. So
I forget who is his parents.
His mother is Morgause, and his father is King Lot of Orkney. They don't really get into it in the poem. That's really more in, like the romances and stuff. But that means his aunt is Morgan Le Fay, who, of course, is also the half-sister of Arthur. And Morgan Le Fay, we find out, of course, is the one who sends the Green Knight into Arthur's court. She conjures up the whole thing. So, yeah, Gawain goes, chops off the head, and the guy gets up, picks up the head, and says, all right, meet me in a year. And
I hate when they do that.
Yeah. And so, he has to spend a year getting ready to deal with what everyone assumes is basically his certain doom. Because this strange fairy knight has, been able to walk away with his head. So it's like, I'm in trouble here. So yes, and then the rest of the poem is him setting off to find the Green Chapel of the Green Knight and spending time at the house of Sir Bertilac and his wife, where he undergoes a whole bunch of chastity tests, and it's a very strange sort of interlude. The whole thing is a series of failures on his part. The entire poem is a poem about failure and how you deal with failure. He fails at the house of Bertilac to essentially be a good guest. He fails to take up the Green Knight's challenge in the end. He's afraid of, he doesn't trust that he is going to come out the other end, so he tries to cheat. With the situation. So, it's basically a poem about failure. And this was all a test by Morgan Le Fay to kind of show that Arthur's court is a court of lies. So, and the response of the court at the end is when Gawain goes home and kind of tells what happened, they're like, okay, buddy, you're one of us. Which is kind of a fun ending, actually. But it's basically a poem about failure. And it's a very interesting poem. And that's kind of the reason why I have trouble with Lowry's.
So how does it end? Like in the poem? In
the poem,
he does trick the Green Knight at the end, or
no? He doesn't trick. Okay, so he had the lady, Lady Bertilac gives him a like a magic girdle to put on, and essentially, if you wear this, you won't. The knight will not be able to harm you. And in having this. Let's see, this thing. It's been a couple years since I read the poem, but from what I remember, by having this, it shows that he doesn't trust the knight, and he's not willing to, essentially, keep his end of the bargain up by having this magic item, and so he is nicked on the back of the neck, but his head is not chopped off, and that's when it comes out like this was all a test. You've basically failed the test. So they go back to Arthur's court, and everybody accepts him as a loser like the rest of them, I guess. At least that's how I remember it.
We suck.
Yeah, basically. It's like wearing a Phillies hat.
Yeah.
And so that's an extremely abbreviated version of Sir Gawain. Yeah. I'm curious as to what this film is actually going to do, what it's going to be about, how it handles these ideas. Does it handle any of the ideas? Is it just an adventure story? Shall we go and to celebrate Christmastide, because hopefully this will come out by before New Year's, Go and watch Sir Gawain and the Green Knight.
Sure.